Welcome to my top 10 rundown of the best indie games coming out this June. First up we have CALX, an atmospheric 3D action adventure that looks to have taken a fair amount of inspiration from Sable. You explore the planet Syro, which is a vast landscape filled with crystal structures and ancient technology. This is a game centred around exploration, where you have periods of stillness before a burst of action. Art and music work together, with the visuals shaping the soundscape and the music breathing life back into the art. To get around, you have the use of a double jump, air dash, a levitate ability and a grappling hook. And as you explore, you will open up new areas and discover hidden paths that help link the world together. The combat in CALX mixes melee attacks and range shots, and you have a companion called AFX who helps you fight and will grow stronger as you progress. Movement plays a big part in the combat, with mobility as important as the weapon you carry. As I said, this game gives off very strong Sable vibes, a game I ultimately found to be a bit disappointing, so hopefully CALX can deliver something a bit more meaningful. CALX arrives on PC June 4th. Swan Song is a cosy and emotional puzzle game where you use notes of different shapes and sizes to program a music box and solve puzzles. Each puzzle is a piece of music waiting to be written as you place musical notes on a scale. Their position determines which platforms activate when the melody plays. Perfect timing and thoughtful placement are the keys to success. Once you have composed your solution, you turn the key, letting the music guide a swan through the level. Alongside this sits a narrative that slowly unfolds, revealing the story of the music box creator and the family it was made for. With each puzzle you solve, fragments of the narrative come to light. I'm a bit of a sucker for these types of puzzle games that have a narrative that unravels as you play, and I like the idea of the musical puzzles. It's something a bit different.
Part of me hopes you'll never find this.
Swan Song plays its way onto PC June 4th. Next up is Cursemark, an action roguelike with some striking pixel art and a focus on melee and spell casting combat. This game promises a strong emphasis on builds, with a rune system that changes how every ability works. This allows you to do things like multiply your fireball spell and have it erupt pillars of ice from the ground when you cast it, or blind enemies and heal yourself when you strike with an attack. There are endless possibilities. Combat is not enough on its own though, and Cursemark promises a world full of secrets, hidden relics and strange sights for you to explore. Each run you will make new discoveries and solve riddles to unlock power and shortcuts. As you make your way through the unknown lands, you will discover permanent shrines and forges that expand your power and rune slots. You can upgrade these for future runs and target the blessings that best suit your build. There are a lot of action roguelikes out there, but with its rune system, it does seem like Cursemark has something new to bring to the table. Cursemark enters Steam Early Access June 8th. Atre Dominance of Wars is a fantasy kingdom builder with turn-based tactical combat and god powers. Whilst having similarities to the classic Heroes of Might and Magic games, this title looks to be following the more modern trend and mixing in Civ-style elements with a focus on creating an empire. Betrayal plays a big part in the gameplay of Atre. Only one person can win, so when the victory counter starts, any alliances you might have forged will fall away as kingdoms dash to be the one remaining power. As well as fighting against other kingdoms, there is the Merge to contend with, a malevolent force that will slowly destroy the playable area. The only way to counter it is to capture regions and bind them to your throne, but you don't want to expand too quickly and leave yourself open to attack from your enemies. Alongside this sit the usual mechanics you would expect from a 4X style game. You build up an army, at the head of which an immortal general can sit, forge artifacts to power up your armies, research new spells to help turn the tide of battle, develop settlements, and take part in events that will shape the world around you. It's certainly a heady mix of systems, which could be a worry as to whether they can all be wrangled together to create a coherent whole. Regardless, it is always good to see a developer looking to experiment in this genre, and I look forward to seeing what Atre can contribute. Atre Dominance Wars comes to PC June 8th. Voidling Bound is an action-packed sci-fi third-person shooter and creature collector. You play as a space wrangler who is able to take direct control of creatures called Voidlings. You can shape these creatures through branching evolutionary paths, upgrading their abilities to allow you to overcome bubonic swarms, pestilent bosses, and reclaim lush planets that have been overrun by corruption. There is a huge menagerie to collect that you fill by hatching eggs you rescue from infested locations, and you can breed to combine natures and attributes for even more power. The evolution system reminds me quite a bit of Spore, if you are old enough to remember that game. The test will be as to whether the upgrades are meaningful beyond just growing stronger, with the amount of customization on offer being make or break. Voidling Bound arrives on PC June 9th. Heading into the top 5, we have Maseylia Echoes of the Past, a 3D Metroidvania. As you would expect from a Metroidvania, all the usual elements are present and correct. The way Maseylia looks to differentiate is in the 3D nature of the world. This allows for a fully interconnected world that is dramatically transformed with each new ability you discover, allowing you to open hidden paths and sequence break, which in turn rewards curiosity. The developers say that the game is truly non-linear, which, if I am honest, seems antithetical to a Metroidvania, but we shall see. One more thing to note is that this is the second game on this month's list that has a visual style that has been influenced by Mobius, the style created by French artist Jean Giraud. Maseylia Echoes of the Past makes its way onto PC June 19th. Denshattack is what you would get if you crossed Jet Set Radio with an endless runner. Hop aboard a gravity-defying train and embark on a hectic quest to defeat the sinister Murado Corporation. Ollie, kick, flip and grind your way through Japan's biggest cities, racking up points and chasing high scores as you face off against a lineup of reimagined Japanese trains, looking to gain the respect of an underground network of gangs and rebels. Turn rivals into allies as you master your skill and journey from naive beginner to seasoned pro. Along the way, you battle bizarre bosses, using what you have learned to stop them in their tracks. It's a very stylish looking game, with eye-catching and frenetic gameplay. Both these elements gel together well to create a game that looks like it will be a lot of fun. Denshattack grinds onto all the consoles and PC June 17th. Dimhaven is a remote island in the middle of nowhere, covered with mountains and shrouded in mist and desolation. It was once a lively tourist paradise, but now almost completely abandoned and isolated due to mysterious events that have taken place over the last few years. Into this steps Emily Ravenstone, on a mission to find her uncle on the strange island, armed only with her camera. Solve puzzles and explore as you uncover the mysteries behind the island and test your wits in this first-person mystery. As a fan of mystery and puzzle games, Dimhaven the Lost Source holds quite a bit of appeal. There is something engrossing about touching down in an unknown environment and slowly unpicking the mysteries that lie within. Dimhaven the Lost Source comes to PC sometime this June. Our penultimate game this month is Fatekeeper, a title that is more than a passing resemblance to Dark Messiah. A first-person RPG that has players mixing swordplay and sorcery to dispatch enemies as they venture into a handcrafted world. Despite being a linear experience, exploration is still possible, and doing so will reward you with hidden lore, forgotten relics, and unexpected encounters. Combat looks nice and chunky, with directional attacks and environmental hazards to take advantage of. The upgrade system promises choice and diversity as you mould the character you want to play. It's not just about pumping stats. Alongside this is a loot system that provides a wide variety of weapons, armour and artifacts to equip, with the right piece of gear often being the difference between victory and ruin. The game looks very pretty on top of everything else, and if it all comes together, it could be quite the title. Fatekeeper comes to Steam Early Access June 2nd. Finally, we have my pick of the month, Crushed in Time. This is a game that almost passed me by this month, but as soon as I saw it, I knew it was going to be the #1 title for June. The reason being is that this is the next game from the studio behind There Is No Game Wrong Dimension, an excellent and subversive point-and-click adventure from a few years back. This new title follows a similar pattern to their first game, in that it is also a comedic point-and-click adventure. Playing as Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, you set off on a time-travelling adventure trying to solve a mystery that transcends the space-time boundaries of the world. The twist in this game is that you can grab, pull and release objects to help the duo solve puzzles. A very novel way of approaching puzzle solving. No doubt there will be various meta and subversive elements to this game, if their previous title is anything to go by, and it's sure to be a most enjoyable time. And one of those rare things in video games. Funny. Crushed in Time comes to PC June 10th. That wraps up our list for June. Let me know in the comments below which games you're most looking forward to, or if you think I've missed anything. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please click the like button and maybe consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more indie game content. I really appreciate anyone who does this, as it really helps the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.